Hello. On this special episode of World Traveler Cooking, we're going to make a German classic, Rote. Rote means sort of like, I would say, red fruit jelly would be the best way to describe it. It's typically a mixture of red berries, cherry juice, sugar, and cornstarch. Typically, people can serve it, for example, with a vanilla yogurt sauce. No, sorry, it's usually not a vanilla yogurt sauce. It's usually like a vanilla pudding sauce. Or you could eat it, of course, with yogurt, or you could eat it, as we will today, with some vanilla ice cream. So today I'm going to make one out of raspberries and strawberries. You can use any combination of fresh and frozen fruit that you'd like. I'm using a mixture of fresh strawberries and frozen raspberries. But you could also add red currants are common, blueberries, pretty much whatever you like. People even add like peaches, rhubarb, pretty much whatever you want. So that's that. Then I have 200 milliliters of cherry juice. This is sometimes called cherry nectar. And if you can't find it at your local supermarket, then go on and look online for it. Everywhere I have lived, I have been able to find it online. Then we have some cornstarch or other edible starch. Like in Germany, they just call it Speisestarch, which means like food starch. And then some sugar. And that's all the ingredients. I'm going to go ahead and slice these strawberries before we get started. And then we'll go ahead and get this in a pot. So let's get started. So I have about 2 tablespoons of sugar and my strawberries. And I'm going to add my raspberries on top. I'm doing it in that order because usually the frozen fruit requires less time to cook than the fresh fruit. Then I'm going to pour in most, but not quite all, of my cherry juice. Want maybe a quarter of the cherry juice left. That seems okay. And then we're going to turn this on to boil, and we're just going to let it go for a bit. We'll be back in a while. So once it's been simmering for a while and the fruit's done to your liking, then what we've done here is we've taken the spoonful of cornstarch and dissolved it in, or suspending it in the remaining cherry juice. That's why we don't quite add all of it. I'm going to stir that up nicely. And that's is going to go in. From here we're going to start stirring it, and this is going to start to thicken as it boils. I'll be back in a bit as this thickens. Now you can see how this is thickening up very nicely. Once it's thickened, we can just let it start to cool. If it doesn't thicken enough, then just take a little more cherry juice and add a little more cornstarch to it. And if you don't have any more cherry juice, then I guess you'll just have to use water. But it would be better if you have a little extra cherry juice in case you need it. I didn't have to use any today, but it's just kind of a tip in terms of guarding against things going wrong. So next we're going to let this cool a bit, and then I'll come back and I'll eat it with ice cream. Now, one sort of interesting thing about Germans is they also do this thing where you take raspberry sauce and drizzle it over vanilla ice cream. It's called, I think, kalt und heiß. In other words, cold and hot. And so I'm going to do basically something kind of similar. So I'm actually going to eat this warm. Normally this would be eaten at room temperature with this sort of vanilla sauce. And the way to think about the vanilla sauce is, imagine if you made instant vanilla pudding and thinned it down with some milk. Which is basically what it is. So, but instead of that, I'm going to do vanilla ice cream. So I'll be back once this cools a bit. So after about 10 minutes, it's cooled enough. I have served some, and I'm just going to put some ice cream on it. And here we are. Rote, in this case eaten with some vanilla ice cream. Next up, the taste test. And now for the taste test. First, I'm just going to try some of this roots itself. So one thing to note is that raspberries can be a little tart. So this is definitely on the tartar side, but it's really delicious. I really like it. Now I'm going to try some with the melting vanilla ice cream. That's absolutely delicious. Absolutely delicious. Now, if you like this content, please subscribe, like, and share. And if you make this sort of dish and you have some tips for other people making it, I'd love to hear them in the comments. One thing I've always wanted to try is adding wine to the juice mixture. I think that could actually be quite interesting, but I decided not to do it today. Also, recipes in the description, and under that is a list of sites where you can find and follow my work, including Patreon, where you can support me. At any rate, bon appetit, and see you next week.